Hello everybody, time for another quick video, this one on the Somerset floods. Now this right here is the example of like a small flashcard that you could make on one case study. So this right here is the Somerset floods and kind of everything you need to know about it. Now you never know, the Somerset floods could come up in a 6 marker or a 9 marker. It could use a figure, it could not use a figure. But the topic it's on is extreme weather. So feel free to pause the video here if you want to make a few notes from the flashcard, but I will go through it now very quickly as I wrote it. So let's start up here. Somerset floods, it's UK extreme weather. So where was it? It was in the Somerset levels in southwest England. That's a mistake from me, southwest England, okay? Because it's not far from where I'm from. When did it happen? Well, January 2014. Why did it happen? So why was there floods? Well, ultimately, there's flat land, therefore the rain can't really go anywhere if it does rain. Also, there's low altitude, it's quite flat. It's quite, it's sea level, so there's not really any flow of rain or water down any hills. There was also high amounts of precipitation, i.e. high rain. There was less dredging, so that means the rivers weren't cleared out as much by people, so the sediment accumulated, and therefore the rivers were effectively less deep. There was also a change in farming methods that made runoff a lot more common. So that is kind of the basics, like a fact file, why it happened, where it happened, when it happened. In terms of the actual impacts, again, a few numbers here for you for a 6 or 9 marker. So 600 homes were affected, 16 farms were evacuated. You also had power supplies being cut off, the roads were inaccessible. There was £10 million worth of damage. And the industry that was hit hardest was obviously farming, because this area of land is used most commonly for farming. There was a fuel cost of 200,000 per week just to power the emergency pumps to get rid of the water. There was also some economic ones here. Look how I categorised them on the side. So you got social, economic and environmental down here. So another economic one was £1 million lost by local business and 200 million lost by less tourism in the area. There was also, as a result of this, higher crime and higher insurance costs as well. In terms of environmental ones, there was contamination of floodwater, and the soil was damaged, so much so it took 2 years for the soil to recover properly and start growing things again. So that's the kind of the impacts. We've got the causes, the impacts. Now we're up here to responses. ST, LT, short term, longer term, immediate, longer term. So the immediate responses, the UK is a HIC, so luckily it had money to kind of tackle these things. There was immediate radio warnings, there were sandbags being brought in straight away to protect property, rescue boats and the army were used to evacuate people, and there were 65 pumps. This is quite a useful stat because they're both the same number. 65 pumps and 65 million cubic meters of water was drained from the area. All these things happen within the first few hours and days. In the longer term, there was a flooding levels action group that provided support and still does today to an extent. There was fundraising and food parcels that happened over the weeks and months that followed. Social media was used to help in terms of appeals and housing, and £15 million was given from the UK government. Not just that, but this is the most important one, and this one can be very useful in an exam question like a 6 or a 9 marker. There is the Somerset Levels and Moors Action Plan. So the Somerset Levels and Moors Action Plan. Now this is a plan that is a 20-year plan. That's why it's longer term. 20-year plan, and it involves pumping stations, it involves dredging the rivers regularly, and it is going to cost overall £100 million over those 20 years to prevent this from happening again. So there you have it. Overall, that's the Somerset floods case study. You have causes, impacts and responses, and you have enough numbers and data in there to get a detailed 9 or 6 marker, which is what you want for the top boundaries. Alright, until next time guys, I'll see you soon. Take care.